So we've got 1 week off, and what do? We go on a wild adventure and try not to crash.
I mean, that would be advisable, yes. 5 days on the road, chasing wildlife. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
So, my wild week. Well, it was supposed to start in the New Forest, and I was really looking forward to it. However, I didn't bank on the weather. Now, I did check all the apps to find out what it was going to do for the rest of the week. Torrential rain. I got there, it looked fine. The next day, it literally started pouring. Now, it's the end of September, and I actually thought rut season would start, you know, the reds and the fallows, but unfortunately it's too warm for them. And, well, with the rain, it just wasn't a very successful mission, as we're just about to find out.
The New Forest is a true jewel in the British countryside, offering an incredible diversity of nature. My main goal for the week is to focus on deer, particularly fallow and the majestic red. Whilst you may come across deer at a distance, tracking and capturing them on film is a completely different challenge, especially in this weather. But despite the rain, I've managed to track down a small herd of fallow deer. They're all does, no bucks in sight yet. Autumn signals the start of the rutting season, but the weather still feels a little too warm. I'm not hearing the bucks bellow yet, which is the usual telltale signs that the rut is about to kick off. Not the best start to the week, but these fallow don't seem bothered by the rain, unlike me. I'm drenched, I'm in desperate need of cover and a coffee.
So as much as I love doing these road trips and wild adventures, there is no place like home. Now, you don't have to go miles to find wildlife. It can be at the bottom of your garden, as we're just about to find out.
Now, I know I'm a very lucky guy. I mean, what more could a wildlife enthusiast want than a babbling brook at the bottom of their garden? And what better way to discover what inhabits these locations than with a sneaky trail camera? Now, obviously, I'm not expecting tigers and bears, and the occasional domestic mutt is acceptable. But sometimes, with patience and a little bit of luck, you're rewarded with a real prize. There are plenty of muntjac deer that inhabit this area, but getting super close to them can be quite difficult. Muntjac males are smaller than the females and have antlers that shed annually. Both are known for their distinctive barking sounds, which I'm sure you've heard. I'm planting a stick in the ground for my next target. It's a welcome stop-off point for one of Britain's favourite colourful characters, the kingfisher. This little guy is hunting for sticklebacks and is a far better fisherman than I could ever be. Kingfishers are widespread across the UK and can be found near most lakes and rivers. The male is slightly more colourful, whilst the female is larger in size. This gorgeous little bird isn't the only hunter that enjoys fish. In the 10 years that we've lived in this house, I've never seen an otter on this stretch. What a treat. Both male and female are regular visitors, and whilst they may not be the most loved by everyone, you can't dismiss the wonder of these incredible creatures. This controversial creature has made a significant recovery in the recent decades due to effective conservation and cleaner waterways. This hidden world is no longer a secret, thanks to my trail camera.
Well, the New Forest just wasn't to be. It was a gorgeous place, and it will be certainly somewhere where I visit in the future, but hopefully with better weather. So for now, we're going to head up to Minsmere up in Suffolk, one of my favourite places to spot wildlife, and hopefully we can capture a few of the red deer there too.
Minsmere is a wildlife haven and one of the UK's most cherished nature reserves. Renowned for its rich biodiversity and conservation efforts, Minsmere has been my go-to spot whenever I need a dose of the wild. The bird life is simply stunning, set against the breathtaking backdrop of the Suffolk Heritage coastline. Go further inland though, and the woods and heath present us with the target species that we're here for. Once again, the weather isn't on our side, but I'm getting pretty used to being wet and cold. As mentioned before, patience and perseverance are prerequisites for all wildlife photographers, and it seems my patience has finally paid off. Red deer. A mix of young stags and hinds are on show, but a larger stag is close by, roaring to display his dominance. Red deer are the largest land mammal in the UK, measuring up to 5 feet tall and weighing over 400 pounds. This impressive beast is called an imperial stag, boasting 14 points on his antlers. back on dry land, and I thought I'd share with you a recent addition to my own gear, and something that I'm sure would enhance your wildlife journey.
There you are, there you are. Right, so this little device is a thermal imaging camera, and it has been an absolute godsend this week. I can't recommend getting a thermal imaging camera. If you're into wildlife and you want to spot things in the shadows or in the darkness, or you just want to try and, you know, locate a species, this is incredible. Now, I have used thermal imaging cameras before, and they've been very expensive. I mean, it's not a new technology. There's a lot of people who use thermal imaging like in engines and, you know, for rigs and that sort of thing. But this, to the wildlife market, I know there's the bigger names have been investing quite heavily into that, whereas the smaller guys like, you know, Topdon actually specialise in thermal imaging, not in the optic side. This is their first entrance into, you know, the wildlife market. They've done the clip-on iPhone things, which were great, but this is specifically for wildlife watching or, you know, spotting. So how it works, you point it at a dark wood or a bush, and it'll pick up the heat source of whatever's hiding within the shadows. And for me, this week, I've been watching the deer quite far away in the darkness. Not just in the darkness of night, but in the daytime as well, in the shadows. This picks them out, and it just gives you that third eye. It is absolutely amazing. And going forward, I will be using this all the time.
The scope itself can also function as a camera, featuring a long-lasting rechargeable battery and a smart app to complement the device. It allows you to choose between different display modes, it's waterproof, and it's perfect pocket size.
Now, what normally puts people off of thermal imaging and scopes is A, they think it's cheating. It's not cheating. You're not IDing something, as in you just can't say, oh yeah, that's a willow warbler, or that. You'll see that there is something there. It's just an aid to help you, you know, locate a species. But the other thing is that scopes like this have been synonymous for being very costly. You know, I've used a few, say, on the market that have been, you know, a couple of £1,000 up, and they are very good, but out of my price range. However, this, I think this sits under £500, which is absolutely incredible for what it is. Anyway, I would wholeheartedly recommend getting one of these if you're into wildlife and you want to spot species in the darkness, in the shadows, in bushes. This will make your life a lot easier. So, you join me on my last part of my wild week. It's the driest day I've had all week. The sun is lovely and bright, maybe a bit too bright for photography, but I don't mind actually. I think as the sun dips down a little bit more, you'll get a little bit more golden in the shots. Now, I'm about 2 miles from home. You know, I've been down to the New Forest, up to Minsmere, over to the Naze. I've been all over the place, and then I end up 2 miles away from my own house, which is fine. I've been tracking a little herd of fallow deer, which have been up and down this tree line here for, well, most of the summer, and I'm hoping that I can capture them today. So I walked down this little lane and found a ditch, which is pretty cool because I'm actually dipped down a little bit. I'm about 1 metre above ground level, so I've got that nice low level view. I'm not super close because, as I say, these deer are so skittish. As soon as they see my car, which is about half a mile up there, they start manoeuvring out into the woods. So it's just a case of settling down, giving it, I reckon, about an hour or so, then hopefully they'll start coming out again. Maybe as that sun dips slightly, I'll get the perfect shot, hopefully. think, even though I've got a bit of cover here, there is kind of a few gaps, which you can probably see here. That's where mesh comes in. Ta-da! It has been a bit of an up and down week. So I obviously started in the New Forest, which was kind of a bit of a disaster really. The first day I got there was a little bit dry, but the forecast was terrible. You know, it was rain, heavy rain, warnings in fact. But yeah, it was very difficult. I did get out for one day and I managed to get, you know, what you've seen already, but that was about it. The next day I had a choice. It was either to cut it short or to, you know, keep going and fight through the rain, but the rain was booked in for the whole week. So I picked up and moved up to Suffolk, to Minsmere. I had a nice time at Minsmere, walked around a bit, saw 3 or 4 bitters from the Bitten Hide at Minsmere, marsh harriers, lots of small birds, lots of warblers. It was very, really, really nice, but my mission for the week was really deer. And I knew that they had some lovely big red stags up there. And it's not quite cold enough for the rutting season, but it'd be great to see them sort of preparing. Oh, deer right here. I need to stop. Sorry. Oh, yes.
Fallow deer are a familiar sight in the UK, known for their spotted coats and males with their distinctive palm-shaped antlers. Introduced back in the 11th century, they thrive in the woodlands and open areas. With cooler temperatures on their way, the rutting season is just around the corner. The larger stags will become more active and the real fighting for dominance begins. I'll be back in the next few weeks to try and capture this spectacle once again, and hopefully with better weather this time.
Where they gone? Oh, that was great. They actually came in the right-hand side across the field. I was actually expecting them to come out there, at the wood at the back there, but they came across. Hopefully there'll be some more. Oh, that's really cool. At least they're here. That's great. Right, this is where I find out I didn't hit record.
I want to extend a huge thank you to Lloyd French for his unwavering advice and support. A true gentleman and a dear friend. Excuse the pun.